Hello everyone. Today we'll be talking about puberty. Everything physiology related to puberty, all the pathologies related to puberty, and what all are the pathologies related to sexuality and intersexuality. Very important topic from MCQ point of view because I have seen the NEET PG question papers for the last 5 years. Every year there is one question, at least one question, be it in the form of picture question or be it in the form of clinical scenarios. You get one question at least from this chapter of puberty and intersexuality. So very important. Come, let's continue with the chapter. First of all, talking about what actually you mean by puberty. So, puberty means the onset of sexuality. Okay, so basically, the secondary sexual characters develop, and if we consider the female, then what all changes occur. Okay, so in a female, the changes that occur in puberty, the first symptom is growth spurt. Okay, growth spurt is the first symptom. बट ग्रोथ स्पर्ट का मतलब है कि वो स्टार्ट हो रहा है ग्रोथ होना. तो ग्रोथ स्पर्ट इज नॉट सीन. ओके, दिस इज नॉट सीन. दिस इज द फर्स्ट साइन. ऑफ कोर्स दिस इज द फर्स्ट साइन, बट इट इज़ नॉट विजिबल. इट इज़ नॉट विजिबल. तो अगर क्वेश्चन आता है, MCQ क्वेश्चन आता है, व्हाट इज द फर्स्ट साइन ऑफ प्यूबर्टी इन अ फीमेल, इट इज ग्रोथ स्पर्ट. द सेकेंड इज थेलार्की. Thelarchy means breast development. Okay, so breast development, but this is the first visible sign. दिखता पहले है breast bud increase होना. First visible sign is thelarchy, but first sign is of course growth spurt. उसके बाद आता है आपका puberty. What is puberty? Puberty is pubic hair. Then comes adrenarche. Adrenarche means axillary hair. Puberty followed by adrenarche, and then peak height, attainment of peak growth. Peak growth comes after this, and last comes menarche. Menarche means the menses. Onset of menses is the last thing which occurs. So in a female, the growth spurt is the first sign, but it is not visible. The first visible sign is thelarchy or breast enlargement, followed by pubarchy, adrenarche, peak growth, and then menarche or menses. But if you consider a male, in the males what happens? The first sign is testicular growth. The first sign is testicular growth, which is followed by growth of penis, and at the same time you have pubarchy and adrenarche, and then peak growth occurs. But of course, growth spurt occurs first. Growth spurt, as in female, growth spurt starts first, but then the first visible sign is testicular growth, as was thelarchy in case of female. So this is very important. When you answer question, this should be very much in mind. Okay, so what is the age at which puberty occurs is very important. So these all things which we are talking about at the onset of puberty, these all occur because there is secondary sexual characters. These all come in secondary sexual characters. So basically for secondary sexual characters, we do a Tanner staging. Tanner staging किया जाता है for secondary sexual characters. You do Tanner staging. Tanner staging is from 1 to 5. You remember, it is from 1 to 5. You need not to remember all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But always remember, if Tanner stage is 1 to 2, if it is 1 to 2, then it is rudimentary form. रूडिमेंटरी फॉर्म का मतलब है अगर ब्रेस्ट डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है तो जस्ट स्टार्टिंग ऑफ द ब्रेस्ट डेवलपमेंट विल बी 1 to 2, whereas 4 to 5 will be proper adult breast. Okay, adult breast will be 4 to 5. Similarly, if you consider the pubic hair, then just starting of pubic hair growth, starting of hair coming up, start of hair will be stage 1 to 2, and proper adult hair pattern with proper dense hair in a triangular shaped pattern in the pubic area will be Tanner stage 4 to 5. So 1 to 2, you remember, it is the adolescent form, and 4 to 5 is the adult form which occurs. So basically, estrogen is responsible for the epiphyseal closure. Estrogen is responsible for epiphyseal closure. What do you mean by that? You mean that if there is a bone, suppose this is a bone and this is a joint, then the epiphysis, okay, diaphysis, epiphysis, this is the epiphysis. So epiphysis is the region of growth of the bone, because new bones will be added in the epiphyseal region. So the epiphysis is closed by estrogen. So when estrogen level is high, estrogen level rises, then slowly the growth tends to become stopped. So just because this is the reason why when estrogen is at its peak, then growth slowly delays. So at the onset of puberty, when estrogen has just started rising, it is at that time that growth spurt occurs. So growth spurt is stimulated by rising, that is the spurt in estrogen level, the surge in estrogen level. But when estrogen is at its peak, then there is epiphysis closure, epiphyseal closure. So technically speaking, if a patient has precocious puberty, प्रिकॉशियस प्यूबर्टी का मतलब है कि जल्दी प्यूबर्टी हो गया, precocious puberty, then the estrogen surge will also happen early and the estrogen peak will also be attained early. So growth spurt will occur earlier than the rest of the females of the same age, but then epiphyseal closure will also occur early, so the growth may be stunted. Okay, so this is very important. Now coming to what is precocious puberty and what is delayed puberty. So by precocious puberty means earlier attaining puberty. So how early and how late is very important. So precocious puberty means in females, if we consider females, attaining less than 8 years of secondary sexual characters or menses, menarche. Okay, menses before 9 years, okay, before 10 years, menses before 10 years. So menses before 10 years and secondary sexual characters means pubarche, adrenarche or thelarche before 8 years of age is puberty, precocious puberty in case of females. Whereas if you consider males, then if testicular growth occurs at an age less than 9 years, then it is considered as precocious puberty. So what actually are the causes of precocious puberty? You can divide precocious puberty into two types. One is central precocious puberty, and the other is peripheral precocious puberty. So what do you actually mean by central precocious puberty? Central precocious puberty means it is the problem is in the hypothalamus. The problem is right in the hypothalamus. तो ऊपर से ही problem है. Basically the hypothalamus, this is the hypothalamus which secretes GnRH hormone, gonadotrophin releasing hormone, which acts on anterior pituitary from where FSH and LH is secreted, and FSH and LH comes and stimulates the ovaries. So if there is GnRH pulse secretion and GnRH is secreted in pulsatile manner, it means ये पूरा time stagnated release नहीं होता है, थोड़ा थोड़ा pulsatile way में release होता है. So if GnRH is increased at a very early age, then the hypothalamus GnRH, if it is increased, then it will lead to central precocious puberty. Whereas peripheral precocious puberty is when there is excessive estrogen, okay, excessive estrogen because of any reason. Okay, now because of this, there can be estrogen se hi basically your puberty occurs. So the pubertal changes are occurring, but then GnRH and FSH and LH are low in these patients. These are low because there is estrogen is high, that is because of that there is negative feedback, and so GnRH, FSH and LH are low. But here GnRH, FSH, LH all are high, and so central precocious puberty has occurred. So one thing which is important is the entire HPO axis is stimulated. Entire HPO axis is stimulated earlier, whereas nothing to do with HPO axis in this. One more thing is menarche is present in this. Menarche occurs. Menarche is present. Why? This is because if entire HPO axis is stimulated, your GnRH is stimulated, FSH LH high है, ईस्ट्रोजन को स्टिमुलेट कर रहा है, तो ईस्ट्रोजन ओवरीज आपके ईस्ट्रोजन प्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं, देन द एंटायर साइकिल ऑफ योर मेंसेस ऑकर and then the menarche occurs. But here menses do not occur, menarche does not occur. It is only the secondary sexual characters, other secondary sexual characters that are present. Why? This is because for menarche to occur, or if in other words you say अगर menses आना है तो प्रॉपर आपका साइकिल चलना चाहिए, दैट इज ईस्ट्रोजन बढ़ेगा, फिर कम हो जाएगा, फिर आपका प्रोजेस्ट्रॉन सेकेंड हाफ में बढ़ेगा एंड देन कम हो जाएगा. इट इज़ द विड्रॉल ऑफ ईस्ट्रोजन एंड प्रोजेस्ट्रॉन, विड्रॉल विच विल लीड टू ब्लीडिंग. विड्रॉल से ब्लीडिंग होता है. इट इज़ नॉट द ईस्ट्रोजन का हाई या प्रोजेस्ट्रॉन हाई से नहीं होता है ब्लीडिंग. ब्लीडिंग इज व्हेन ईस्ट्रोजन एंड प्रोजेस्ट्रॉन लेवल बोथ फॉल्स, ड्रॉप्स. बट जब आपका एक्सोजीनस ईस्ट्रोजन, जैसे बाहर से कोई अगर ईस्ट्रोजन ले रहा हो तो उसका ईस्ट्रोजन प्रॉपर साइक्लिकल मैनर में राइज एंड फॉल नहीं हो रहा है. तो इफ साइक्लिकल मैनर में देर इज नो प्रॉपर फॉल ऑफ ईस्ट्रोजन एंड प्रोजेस्ट्रॉन एट द सेम टाइम, देन मेंसेस वोंट ऑकर. सो दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फीचर. अगर किसी को प्रिकॉशियस प्यूबर्टी हो रहा है एंड उसके सेकेंडरी सेक्शुअल कैरेक्टर्स आर रेज्ड, आर प्रेजेंट, बट द पेशेंट डज नॉट हैव एनी फीचर ऑफ मेनार्की, मेनार्की नहीं है, बाकी सारे फीचर्स है, देन इट इज़ पेरिफेरल प्रिकॉशियस प्यूबर्टी. बट इफ पेशेंट के बाकी सारे चीज़ें नॉर्मल है, दैट इज़ मेनार्की भी आ रहा है एंड हाइपोथैलेमस सारा स्टिमुलेटेड है एंड योर मार्कर्स आर ऑल्सो रेज्ड, दैट इज ऑल द हॉर्मोन्स, देन इट इज़ सेंट्रल प्रिकॉशियस प्यूबर्टी. Very important to differentiate between the two. The most common cause of precocious puberty, one liner, most common cause of precocious puberty in females is idiopathic. Idiopathic means 80 to 90% are idiopathic. Cause is not known, maybe due to familial or because of other reasons. Okay, and most of the time it is because of central precocious puberty, and peripheral precocious puberty is also called pseudo precocious puberty. It is also called pseudo precocious puberty. ठीक है, तो यहाँ तक हमारा क्लियर हो गया. नाउ लेट अस सी सम ऑफ द रीजंस व्हाई people may have precocious puberty. Okay, so if we talk about precocious puberty, let us see why precocious puberty actually occurs. What are the causes which can lead to precocious puberty? As we have already told, 80 to 90% of the cases are idiopathic. मतलब causes पता नहीं है क्या हो सकता है, idiopathic. Okay, the rest 10%, 10 to 20% of the cases, the cause you may evaluate and you may know. So specific etiology may be known. So what are these? There can be any lesion in the brain. There can be lesion in the CNS, in the central nervous system. So lesions in the CNS can be in the form of glioma, astrocytoma, basically all the CNS related lesions. central nervous system में कोई भी lesion हो, जैसे आपका tumors in the central nervous system, these will lead to irritation and it will lead to more secretion of GnRH. Basically GnRH will be secreted more and more if there is irritation. Now the question comes there has been question in NEET, what is the most common CNS tumor, which can lead to this central precocious puberty? It is hamartoma. Hamartomas of the CNS are most common lesions which can lead to central precocious puberty. Okay, so these are some of the causes. Basically central lesions will be all the tumors of the CNS. इसके अलावा there can be reason, there can be causes like acquired causes. Okay, acquired causes can be synthetic causes, like patient can be taking exogenous estrogen. Okay, exogenous estrogen, अगर कोई बाहर से estrogen ले रहा है तो that can also lead to precocious puberty because of some reason, because if there is food or somebody is taking estrogen injections because of some reason, then there can be this is also called iatrogenic is something related to medicine world which we can have. Then patient can have hydrocephalus can be secondary to tubercular meningitis के patients में there can be hydrocephalus which can lead to acquired central precocious puberty. Then some of the other diseases like your rickets, vitamin D deficiency, hypothyroidism, rickets. Then you have other diseases like your encephalitis, meningitis, infectious causes like encephalitis, meningitis. Okay, so these can be causes of central acquired precocious puberty. Okay, so these are the central precocious puberty. Next, coming to your peripheral precocious puberty. Peripheral precocious puberty can be because of any lesion in the ovary. If ovary is secreting more and more estrogen and there is no stimulation from above, then it is peripheral precocious puberty. So what are the reasons? There can be granulosa cell tumor. Most common is granulosa cell tumor. I have already told this is a type of tumor which secretes estrogen because granulosa cells secrete estrogen, and once estrogen is secreted there can be precocious puberty. And ऐसे ही women in the reproductive age group, if patient has granulosa cell tumor, then it will be associated with endometrial hyperplasia and endometrial cancer also. Then you have theca cell tumors. Theca cell tumors produce androgen. You all know theca cell compartment is responsible for androgen production. Now if androgen is high, this androgen will undergo peripheral aromatization and it will get converted to estrogen, and this estrogen will in turn lead to peripheral precocious puberty. Then there can be other reasons like if patient is started on OC pills because of any reason, or exogenous estrogen is given because of some reason from outside, or it can be because of McCune-Albright syndrome. I am specifically talking about McCune-Albright syndrome because there has been questions in NEET MCQ from McCune-Albright syndrome. So let us see what actually is McCune-Albright syndrome. You get to read about this disorder in your orthopedics also. So what actually is McCune-Albright syndrome? McCune-Albright syndrome has a specific triad. Albright syndrome. So McCune-Albright syndrome has a specific triad. What is the triad? One is precocious puberty. Of course, there is precocious puberty because there is secretion of estrogen from the lesions. Okay. The second is there is fibrous dysplasia of the bones. Fibrous dysplasia of bones. Sometimes the question will be polyostotic fibrous dysplasia. Polyostotic means at various regions there will be polyosto means bones में multiple regions में there is fibrous dysplasia of the bones. Bone formation में भी problem होगा, precocious puberty हो जाएगा, and there will be neurological symptoms in the form of cafe or latte spots in the skin. Okay, cafe or late, it is written like this, cafe or late, but इसको pronounce करते हैं cafe or latte. ठीक है, स्किन लेजन्स होते हैं. इसका कैसे लेजन्स होते हैं, इसमें ब्लैक ब्लैक चकत्ते चकत्ते टाइप के ऐसे ब्लैक लेजन्स होंगे इन द स्किन. सो यू विल फाइंड सम ब्लैक लेजन्स इन द स्किन एंड पेशेंट विल हैव वीक बोन्स एंड जॉइंट्स. ओके, ऑल विल बी फाइब्रस टाइप. पेशेंट के बोन्स में स्ट्रेंथ नहीं होता है. देयर कैन बी मल्टीपल फ्रैक्चर्स इन द बोन्स एसोसिएटेड विद प्रिकॉशियस प्यूबर्टी. इट इज मैक्यूनी-एल्ब्राइट सिंड्रोम. द ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ मैक्यूनी-एल्ब्राइट सिंड्रोम इज बेसिकली प्रिकॉशियस प्यूबर्टी को हमें स्टॉप करना है. सो इफ वी हैव टू स्टॉप प्रिकॉशियस प्यूबर्टी, व्हाट इज आवर ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ चॉइस? वी हैव टू गिव continuous GnRH therapy. Continuous GnRH therapy. Now what do you mean by that? Let me explain to you properly. हमें ये पता है कि GnRH gets released from hypothalamus, secretes your anterior pituitary and releases FSH and LH जो हमारा ओवरी में जाके काम करेगा एंड हमारा ईस्ट्रोजन प्रोड्यूस हो जाएगा. ठीक है. नाउ दिस GnRH इज सीक्रेटेड इन पल्सेटाइल मैनर. पल्सेटाइल मैनर इसका मतलब है कि ये थोड़ा थोड़ा करके रिलीज़ होगा. ठीक है, मान लो 10 मिनट रिलीज़ हो गया, फिर वो 1 घंटा नहीं रिलीज़ होगा, फिर 10 मिनट रिलीज़ होगा, फिर 1 घंटा नहीं रिलीज़ होगा. सो इट इज़ द पल्सेटाइल मैनर विच इज़ एक्टिंग. बट इफ़ वी गिव कंटिन्यूस GnRH थेरेपी, कंटिन्यूस GnRH थेरेपी, हम बाहर से एक ड्रग अगर ड्रग करके उसको मुंह से खिला दे और वो कंटिन्यूस GnRH देते रहे उसको टैबलेट के फॉर्म में, तो देन या फिर इंजेक्शन के फॉर्म में, एनी फॉर्म में, इफ़ वी गिव कंटिन्यूस GnRH थेरेपी, देन दिस पल्सेटाइल नेचर विल ब्रेक and so FSH and LH will not be secreted because anterior pituitary will not be stimulated because it is the pulsatile manner which helps in secretion. तो हम क्या करते हैं, तो हमने दिमाग लगाया, हम इसको continuous GnRH therapy दे देते हैं. Continuous GnRH therapy can be given in the form of injection leuprolide का इंजेक्शन आता है which is GnRH analog. So this can be given. Depot injection can be given. Once an injection you can give 3.75 मिलीग्राम का इंजेक्शन you can give. और वो डेपो इंजेक्शन होता है, मतलब वो स्किन के नीचे स्टोर हो जाता है, या इंट्रामस्कुलरली देते हो तो मसल में स्टोर हो जाता है, और वो धीरे धीरे एवरी टाइम इट कीप्स रिलीजिंग इनटू द ब्लड स्ट्रीम. फॉर द नेक्स्ट 3 to 4 weeks इट विल remain releasing slowly and it will maintain a stagnated level in the blood. So the pulsatile nature will break and patient will not have early puberty. So this is what is actually done in cases of precocious puberty. Coming to our next topic of today is delayed puberty. What is delayed puberty? Why do we have delayed puberty and how to diagnose delayed puberty? So delayed puberty is diagnosed when patient will have no breast development. Okay, so breast development is the first visible sign. So if there is no breast development till 13 years of age, okay, 8 years से पहले हो रहा है तो प्रिकॉशियस प्यूबर्टी, 13 years के बाद ब्रेस्ट डेवलप हो रहा है तो वो डिलेड प्यूबर्टी है. एंड नो मेनार्की by 15 years of age according to new definition. Earlier definition used to say 16 years of age. तो कभी कभी कुछ MCQs में आपको 15 मिल जाएगा, कभी कुछ MCQs में 16 मिल जाएगा. अगर 15 and 16 अलग अलग ऑप्शंस है तो always go for 15 because new definition says 15. So no breast development by 13 years of age and no menarche by 15 or 16 years of age is considered as delayed puberty, whereas in males no testicular development by 14 years of age is considered as delayed puberty. Now what are the causes of delayed puberty? What can be the causes? Delayed puberty के भी most common cause है CNS abnormalities. There can be CNS abnormalities which will lead to non-stimulation of the GnRH. So it can be because of post radiotherapy. अगर किसी को brain radiation मिला, radiotherapy because of some cancers, then patient will not have. Then there can be infiltrative disorders like your sarcoidosis and histiocytosis. These are the important causes. Histiocytosis. So sarcoidosis and histiocytosis are CNS abnormalities which will lead to non-stimulation of GnRH from the CNS. Then you can have isolated causes like Kalman syndrome. Kalman syndrome. Now Kalman syndrome is very important because questions come from Kalman syndrome. So I'll explain this in a bit detail. What actually is Kalman syndrome? Kalman syndrome, there is defect in midline structures. Midline structures. मिडलाइन स्ट्रक्चर्स का मतलब है कि हेड एंड नेक में जो मिडलाइन स्ट्रक्चर्स है, सेंटर में जो स्ट्रक्चर्स है वो सब फॉर्म नहीं होते हैं. इफ़ यू कंसिडर दिस एज द फेस ऑफ एन इंडिविजुअल, देन मिडलाइन स्ट्रक्चर्स वोंट बी फॉर्म्ड. सो इसका मतलब ये मिडलाइन के अराउंड स्ट्रक्चर्स विल नॉट बी फॉर्म्ड. So basically midline में there is hypothalamus, pituitary are all in the brain which is in the midline. So basically hypothalamus and pituitary का there will be hypoplasia. So GnRH will be secreted less. If GnRH is secreted less, patient will have delayed puberty. At the same time, nasal bones, okay, nasal bones and the nasal plate, all these things will also not be migrated. So migration of the nasal plate will not form easily. So patient will have anosmia. Anosmia, नाक से कुछ स्मेल नहीं आएगा पेशेंट को. वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अपार्ट फ्रॉम delayed puberty, if patient is having anosmia, this means there is central defect, that is defect in the midline structures, and patient को थोड़ा बहुत कभी कभी टेस्ट भी properly महसूस नहीं होता है. So these are the features of Kalman syndrome, and of course it is a type of hypo means hypogonadotrophic hypogonadism. Hypogonadotrophic hypogonadism. What do you mean by hypogonadotrophic hypogonadism? Means ऊपर का और नीचे का दोनों ही हाइपो है. मतलब GnRH FSH LH भी लो है, FSH LH भी लो है, and your estrogens भी लो है. So it is hypo. There can be causes of hyperhypo, that is hypergonadotrophic hypogonadism. What do you mean by this? Hypogonadism. इसका मतलब है कि ऊपर के जो स्टिमुलेटर्स है, that is GnRH, FSH, LH, these are high, hypergonadotrophic, but hypogonadism means estrogen is low. ये कब होता है? When the defect is in ovary. When the defect is in ovary. अगर ओवरी में डिफेक्ट है तो भले ही ऊपर से कितना भी हार्मोन्स रेज्ड हो, आपका ईस्ट्रोजन लेवल कम होगा. सो दिस इज हाइपरगोनाडोट्रोफिक हाइपोगोनाडिज्म. बट हाइपोगोनाडोट्रोफिक हाइपोगोनाडिज्म मीन्स ऑल आर लो, बी इट GnRH, FSH, LH, all are low and estrogen resultively is low. So Kalman syndrome is a type of hypogonadotrophic hypogonadism. Apart from that, patients who have very low BMI, or patients who are suffering from tuberculosis, or patients who are having malnutrition, protein energy malnutrition, are causes of hypo because everything is less secreted in them. So a causes of delayed puberty. Okay, so this is what is delayed puberty. And when it is delayed puberty, basically when you do FSH and LH, if they are low, this means it is a cause of hypogonadotrophic hypogonadism. They are lower than 10 international units per ml. But if FSH level is more than 30 international units per ml and estrogen is low, estradiol is low, less than 10 picograms per ml, then it is diagnostic of hypergonadotrophic hypogonadism, means ovarian failure, something to do with ovarian failure. What is very important at this stage, I would like to tell you some one-liner question for NEET MCQ. Most common cause of delayed puberty in females is your Turner's syndrome. Turner's syndrome. Remember, Turner's syndrome is the most common cause of delayed puberty, and similarly, most common cause of primary amenorrhea. Primary amenorrhea in a female is also Turner's syndrome. Okay, so this is all about precocious puberty and delayed puberty. Treatment of delayed puberty will be treatment of delayed puberty. If patient is having delayed puberty, then the treatment will be pulsatile GnRH therapy. So GnRH therapy you have to give in pulsatile manner, then only the anterior pituitary will be stimulated. On the other hand, you can give estrogen therapy to these females, but giving estrogen, remember that there will be early epiphyseal closure, so better not to give estrogen. Pulsatile GnRH therapy is the preferred modality of treatment rather than estrogen, but estrogen can also be given, can be second line of management. Next, after this, now we are going to ambiguous genitalia. Our next topic of today's discussion is ambiguous genitalia. What do you mean by ambiguous genitalia? As we had already spoken in my previous lecture, congenital malformations part 2. Try to refer to that part also. We have spoken a few of the things. Today I'll just clarify your doubts and I'll go more into details. Ambiguous genitalia means you will find some males who are internal genitalia is male will be having external genitalia as female, or some people will have internal genitalia of female and external genitalia of male. So these are called ambiguous genitalia patients. Now ambiguous genitalia patients can be categorized into two groups. One is true hermaphroditism. Hermaphrodites. Okay, so true hermaphrodites are the people who will be having ovotestis. इसका मतलब उनके पास ovaries भी है, उनके पास testis भी है. Either both the sides they will have ovary and testis both, or in one side there can be testis and the other side there can be ovaries. So they are called true hermaphrodites. But pseudo hermaphrodites, they are very rare. True hermaphrodites are really rare. Pseudo hermaphrodites are more common, and pseudo hermaphroditism can be male pseudo hermaphroditism or it can be female pseudo hermaphroditism. Male pseudo hermaphroditism means the internal genitalia will be male. I have spoken in previous lecture also. मेल या फीमेल उसी को बोलते हैं जिसका इंटरनल जेनिटेलिया है, बिकॉज इनसाइड का जेनाइटल ऑर्गन इज मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट फॉर एन इंडिविजुअल्स फंक्शन rather than the outside का genital organ. So male pseudohermaphroditism means internal genitalia is male but externally the patient is looking like a female, external genitalia is female, whereas female pseudohermaphroditism means the internal genitalia is looking like is of organs are of female but externally that patient will look like male. Okay, so it will be a cause of female pseudohermaphroditism. Most common cause of male pseudohermaphroditism is androgen insensitivity syndrome or testicular feminization syndrome. We have already studied in last lecture. Also, the most common cause of female pseudohermaphroditism is congenital adrenal hyperplasia. We are going to talk about congenital adrenal hyperplasia in detail in today's lecture. So, coming to female pseudohermaphroditism. Female pseudohermaphroditism का most common cause है congenital adrenal hyperplasia. So, what actually happens in congenital adrenal hyperplasia? वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू नो दैट इट इज़ एन ऑटोजोमल रेसेसिव डिसऑर्डर. ठीक है, ये याद रखना है, ऑटोजोमल रेसेसिव, बिकॉज देर आर क्वेश्चंस आई हैव सीन mostly from pediatrics part that there will be some disorders written and find the odd one out. So you have to know all the disorders, whether they are autosomal recessive, autosomal dominant, X-linked recessive or X-linked dominant. The list of charts you will find in your pedia books, so just go through them. Remember, CAH is an autosomal recessive disorder. Autosomal recessive का मतलब है अगर both parents are having the trait, okay, then there is 25% chance, that is 1 in 4 chance that the baby will also have. Okay, and if it is if both the genes are present, then only it will express. If one gene is present, the other gene is not present, then it will not express, of course. So when we talk about congenital adrenal hyperplasia, what is very important at the very beginning is to know the steroid hormone pathway. You all might have studied in your physiology chapter. Basically, there is pregnenolone. Okay, pregnenolone gets converted to 17 hydroxyprogesterone. Okay, by 17 hydroxylase enzyme. Okay, pregnenolone gets converted to progesterone by 3 beta hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase enzyme. Similarly, this will act on 17 hydroxyprogesterone and it will form 17 hydroxy your progesterone. Okay, this is pregnenolone. Sorry, I did a mistake. Okay, so 17 hydroxy pregnenolone. Okay, and finally it will lead to production of DHEA, that is the sex steroid hormones. So testosterone is produced in this pathway, testosterone. Okay, now this progesterone and 17 hydroxyprogesterone will form your cortisol. Okay, so the deoxy forms, that is deoxycortisone and deoxycortisol will be produced by your 21 hydroxylase enzyme. Okay, and this will later on get converted by 11 beta hydroxylase to your cortisone and cortisol. Okay, so and this will lead to formation of aldosterone, okay, which is mineralocorticoid. So basically what is important is, in this pathway, in one side testosterone or sex steroid hormones are produced, in the other side it is the mineralocorticoids which are produced. Mineralocorticoids are also produced, which is responsible for the mineral balance of the body. So if somewhere there is deficiency, that is if there is 21 hydroxylase deficiency, this hormone deficiency is the most common cause of congenital adrenal hyperplasia. Why? If there is deficiency, then the entire pathway will stop at this level. अगर ये यहाँ पे स्टॉप हो जाता है तो क्या क्या होगा, आपका प्रोजेस्ट्रॉन लेवल विल इंक्रीज. नंबर 1, प्रोजेस्ट्रॉन लेवल विल इंक्रीज. दूसरा है सारा चीज़ इस तरफ जाएगा, सो टेस्टोस्टेरोन विल इंक्रीज. सो कंसिडर अगर ये कोई मेल पर्सन है तो उसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, उसका टेस्टोस्टेरोन बढ़ रहा है. बट इफ इट इज़ अ फीमेल इंडिविजुअल, then the testosterone increase in testosterone will lead to stimulation of the genital organs into male internal genitalia. एंड मेल इंटरनल जेनिटेलिया एक बार बन जाएगा तो वो टेस्टोस्टेरोन फिर इट विल गेट कन्वर्टेड बाय 5 अल्फा रिडक्टेज इनटू डाइहाइड्रोटेस्टोस्टेरोन, एंड व्हेन डाइहाइड्रोटेस्टोस्टेरोन इज फॉर्म्ड देन द external genitalia will also be male. Okay, so external genitalia will look like male. Okay, but she is a female. So female का क्या है, because she is a female, she has ovaries and ovaries will be producing estrogen also. So because of this estrogen there will be like all the secondary sexual characters. Internally it will be a female, so internal female, and some of the structures will be male also, and externally patient will look like male. So it is a female pseudo hermaphroditism. The most common enzyme deficiency is 21 hydroxylase enzyme. So how do you test it? Basically we test the level of 17 hydroxyprogesterone. अगर 17 hydroxyprogesterone hormone बढ़ा हुआ है body में तो it is because there is 21 hydroxylase deficiency. 21 hydroxylase deficiency will lead to increase in 17 hydroxyprogesterone. It is very much specific because progesterone or testosterone can be increased in other causes also, but 17 hydroxyprogesterone is raised specifically in congenital adrenal hyperplasia. Okay, now remember these patients will have less of mineralocorticoids. This means mineralocorticoid का काम क्या होता है, sodium and potassium balance karna. So there will be decrease in sodium in the body, and so which will lead to hypotension. Patient will develop hypotension, and so minerals patient has to be given. Treatment will be patient has to be given salt water every time, salt water, or patient has to be given NS, normal saline infusion has to be given. Otherwise salt balance will not occur in the patient's body. Okay, so this is what is important for this. Also remember that androgens can lead to heterosexual precocious puberty and ambiguous genitalia. So it is also a cause of precocious puberty in females. Okay, there can also be a deficiency of, apart from 21 hydroxylase deficiency, you all know, you might have read in your pedia also, there can be deficiency of 3 beta hydroxysteroid also, and there can be deficiency of 11 beta hydroxylase also. If the deficiency is lower down, that is 11 beta hydroxylase का deficiency है, तो basically deoxycortisone and cortisol possesses some of the properties of mineralocorticoid, तो इसमें BP लो नहीं होता बल्कि BP हाई हो जाता है. तो 11 हाइड्रोक्सिलेज डेफिशिएंसी वाले पेशेंट्स में बीपी हाई रहता है. बाकी सारे ऊपर वाले कैस्केड में अगर डेफिशिएंसी है, दैट इज 11 हाइड्रोक्सिलेज डेफिशिएंसी और 3 बीटा हाइड्रोक्सीस्टेरॉइड डिहाइड्रोजिनेज डेफिशिएंसी, देन बीपी विल बी लो फॉर दीज पेशेंट्स. ओके, so this is very important. Next, the thing is that what actually you do when you detect this. ठीक है, so if a female is detected to have a fetus which is having CAH, that is congenital adrenal hyperplasia, तो क्या करना होता है? Initially at 4 to 5 weeks period of gestation, at that time only you start giving steroids to the patient. Okay, steroids, basically you have to give steroids to the patient. So what steroid do you start giving? You start giving dexamethasone. Why are we giving steroids? This is because if you consider this cycle, okay, so progesterone तक बन रहा था, इसके नीचे नहीं बन रहा था. ठीक है, so if you give steroid like dexamethasone, it will cross over and it will go towards the patient. Okay, it will go towards the patient, and then because of negative feedback this pregnenolone will be reduced, because steroids आपने बाहर से दिया dexamethasone, this dexamethasone basically, because this is the testosterone. Okay, so if you are giving additional steroid, then this steroid will go and it will reduce this pregnenolone. If it reduces the pregnenolone, then this testosterone will, the endogenous body का जो testosterone है, that will be low, and so patient will not develop CAH. So that is why we give exogenous steroids in the form of dexamethasone. Dexamethasone and betamethasone are the steroids which cross the placenta. Okay, that is why we give for fetal lung maturity. So they cross the placenta. These are to be given very early, from 4 to 5 weeks, because the genital organs are forming at this time. And then at around 10 to 12 weeks you do a chorionic villus sampling. Chorionic villus sampling is done for diagnosis. इसका मतलब प्लेसेंटा का जो chorionic पार्ट है वहाँ से हम सैंपल लेते हैं, एंड यू डू कैरियोटाइपिंग इन दैट. कैरियोटाइपिंग मतलब you have to do sex determination. So this is one of the indications where you can do sex determination legally in the baby. Karyotyping करते हैं. If it is an XY fetus, then stop dexamethasone. इसकी ज़रूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि ऑलरेडी मेल है तो टेस्टोस्टेरोन ज़्यादा प्रोड्यूस होगा, तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं होगा. बट इफ़ इट इज़ अ फीमेल बेबी, देन यू हैव टू कंसिडर गिविंग डेक्सामिथासोन थ्रू आउट द प्रेगनेंसी टू प्रिवेंट virilization in the female. How do you test for 17 hydroxy progesterone? 17 hydroxy progesterone, if it is more than 800 milligrams per deciliter, then it is, you are making a diagnosis of CAH. But if it is less than 200 milligrams per deciliter baseline value, then you rule out CAH, because normal women will have 17 hydroxyprogesterone less than 200. But if it is between 200 to 800, there is a gray area. So in that case you do ACTH stimulation test. ACTH stimulation test. ACTH stimulation test is adrenocorticotrophic hormone तो इसको हम इंजेक्ट करते हैं. तो ACTH will go and then it will stimulate the एड्रिनल ग्लैंड्स. ओके, एड्रिनल ग्लैंड्स को स्टिमुलेट करेंगे एंड एड्रिनल ग्लैंड से देर विल बी प्रोडक्शन ऑफ योर pregnenolone and progesterone, everything. So basically it will lead to increase in 17-hydroxyprogesterone also. So in that case, if you stimulate with ACTH and in the morning you take a sample and 17-hydroxyprogesterone, if more than 1500 milligrams per deciliter, it is diagnostic of CAH. Okay, after stimulation. But after stimulation also, if it is less than 1500, then you rule out CAH in the female. Okay, the drug of choice if for the patient is dexamethasone, because it crosses the placenta and as it crosses the placenta. But in non-pregnant patients, if you have to treat the patient, then the drug of choice is hydrocortisone, because it is short acting steroid and it will not have any potent long term side effects of steroids. Okay, so this is all about congenital adrenal hyperplasia. Next, coming to androgen insensitivity syndrome, as you have already known कि androgen insensitivity syndrome is X-linked recessive. It is X-linked recessive. We have spoken in last class. Then karyotype is 46XY, but externally it is a male. Why? Because there is 5-alpha reductase deficiency, or the 5-alpha reductase का जो आपके receptors है that is not working. So although the patient has testis, is present and testosterone is produced, so testosterone leads to formation of your male internal genital organs. Internal genital organs males का है, but dihydrotestosterone is not produced, so आपके external genitalia is not like male, it is a female type of external genitalia, and this testosterone gets converted to estrogen and will lead to formation of breasts in the males. Okay, so बाहर से वो ये दिखेगा. Also, the secondary sexual characters are absent because there is no dihydrotestosterone, so pubic hair and your axillary hair and everything will be absent in those males. Okay, so what will be the treatment of these patients? Treatment will be let them be females, because they externally look like female. So what actually you have to do is, पेशेंट का जो टेस्टिस है उसका गोनेडेक्टमी करना पड़ेगा. गोनेडेक्टमी मीन्स यू हैव टू रिमूव दैट टेस्टिस, गोनेडेक्टमी करना पड़ेगा. सो व्हेन डू यू डू गोनेडेक्टमी? आफ्टर प्यूबर्टी. After puberty you have to do, because if you do it before puberty, then what happens? टेस्टोस्टेरॉन नहीं प्रोड्यूस होगा, एंड टेस्टोस्टेरॉन नहीं प्रोड्यूस होगा तो ईस्ट्रोजन नहीं प्रोड्यूस होगा, उसका ब्रेस्ट डेवलप नहीं होगा. सो इफ़ यू आर वांटिंग दैट इंडिविजुअल टू बी फीमेल, she should be externally looking good like female, so the breasts are also needed. So that is why testis we are not removing before puberty. Once patient has attained puberty and the breasts are developed fully, then you can go for gonadectomy. But if you do not remove the testes which are intra-abdominal, then what happened? Patient will develop testicular tumor हो जाएगा. Why testicular tumor होगा? क्योंकि testes are intra-abdominal, so the temperature is high, so testicular tumor बन जाएगा. So to remove that you have to, and what testicular tumor is most common? It is gonadoblastoma. रिमेंबर गोनेडोब्लास्टोमा ऑकर हो जाता है इफ गोनेडेक्टमी नहीं करते हैं, इज द मोस्ट कॉमन, फॉलोड बाय देयर कैन बी डिसजर्मिनोमा. आई हैव personally seen a patient of testicular feminization syndrome and we had done gonadectomy to prevent gonadoblastoma in these patients. Okay, next coming to your Turner's syndrome. The next is Turner's syndrome. Turner's syndrome, as I have already spoken in last class, they are females with 45XO, so they are rudimentary, they have one X, so they have streak gonads. And you also already know in your pediatrics, you might have studied, they will have broad shield chest, then wide nipples, wide split nipples, gap between the nipples. Then they will be short in height, they will have webbed neck, they will have cubitus valgus and all those things. What is important, what MCQ NEET में आता है, is most common cardiovascular lesion in patients of Turner syndrome, क्योंकि उनके most of them have die because of heart attack. Okay, so most common CVS abnormality is coarctation of aorta, coarctation of aorta followed by bicuspid aortic valve. Bicuspid aortic valve is the most common anomaly, very important, you should remember. Then most common nephrological abnormalities or renal abnormalities. Okay, renal abnormalities will be your horseshoe kidney. Okay, horseshoe kidney is a question which has been asked till now. Then most common immunological abnormality, immunological disorder is diabetes mellitus type 1. Okay, because there will be autoimmune diabetes, so mostly type 1 and type 2 also to a certain extent. Diabetes mellitus is very common. Second common is Hashimoto's thyroiditis, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, because these are all autoimmune disorders which occur. Okay, so these all things you should remember. Genotype will be XO. The one question which is very important is why they are having short height, why they are having short height. उनका तो मैंने बताया कि ईस्ट्रोजन लेवल इज़ लो. अगर ईस्ट्रोजन लेवल लो है देन एपीफाइजियल क्लोजर नहीं होगा, क्लोजर नहीं होगा तो उनको लेट तक ग्रोथ होना चाहिए था. बट बिकॉज दे हैव अ म्यूटेशन इन शॉक्स जीन. ओके, देर इज म्यूटेशन इन शॉक्स जीन, SHOX, शॉक्स जीन, which is leading to decrease in height, that is epiphyseal closure occurs early. This is a question which has come. Mutation in SHOX gene can lead to is the cause of decreased height in females of Turner's syndrome. Okay, now one more thing I would like to थोड़ा सा confuse करूँगा but is very important, questions आता है. What is Swires syndrome? What is Swires syndrome? Okay, Swires syndrome में भी the karyotype is 46XY. Okay, 46XY, but there is mutation in the SRY gene. Okay, there is mutation in SRY gene. Okay, SRY gene में कुछ mutation हो गया, because of which there is dysgenetic gonads. Dysgenetic gonads. Okay, means gonads, that is the testes are not formed properly. So if the testes are not formed properly, see testes अच्छे से form नहीं हुआ है, तो basically testes क्या produce करता है? Your anti-Mullerian hormone and testosterone. Okay, so both testosterone will be low and anti-Mullerian hormone will also be low. अगर anti-Mullerian hormone low होगा तो Mullerian duct develop हो जाएगा, Mullerian duct will develop, Mullerian duct will develop. If Mullerian duct develops, then क्या होगा? आपका यूट्रस, फेलोपियन ट्यूब, सर्विक्स, ये सब डेवलप हो जाएगा पेशेंट का. ओके, यूट्रस, फेलोपियन ट्यूब एंड सर्विक्स हैव डेवलप्ड. At the same time, there is absence of testosterone, so internal genitalia, ठीक है, उसका फीमेल टाइप का रहेगा. एट द सेम टाइम डाइहाइड्रोटेस्टोस्टेरॉन भी लो होगा क्योंकि टेस्टोस्टेरॉन नहीं फॉर्म हुआ है. तो एक्सटर्नल जेनिटेलिया विल ऑल्सो बी फीमेल टाइप क्योंकि डाइहाइड्रोटेस्टोस्टेरॉन नहीं है. ओके, सो दिस इज द थिंग. एंड सिंस टेस्टोस्टेरॉन इज नॉट देयर, देन वो ईस्ट्रोजन फॉर्म नहीं होगा, ठीक है. तो ईस्ट्रोजन फॉर्म नहीं होगा बाय एरोमेटाइजेशन, सो ब्रेस्ट डेवलपमेंट भी नहीं होगा, सो सी इफ यू कंपेयर स्वायर्स सिंड्रोम विथ एंड्रोजन इंसेंसिटिविटी सिंड्रोम, ठीक है, स्वायर्स सिंड्रोम विथ एंड्रोजन इंसेंसिटिविटी सिंड्रोम दोनों एक जैसे ही है, दोनों में ही XY है, ठीक है, वो एक्चुअली वो मेल है, ठीक है, XY है. बट कंसिडर एंड्रोजन इंसेंसिटिविटी सिंड्रोम में क्या था? आउटसाइड से वो फीमेल टाइप का था बिकॉज उसका डाईहाइड्रोटेस्टोस्टेरॉन नहीं था. सिमिलरली यहाँ पे भी आउटसाइड से इट इज़ अ फीमेल बिकॉज डाईहाइड्रोटेस्टोस्टेरॉन नहीं बना है क्योंकि टेस्टोस्टेरॉन ही नहीं है इसके पास. ओके, कमिंग टू इनसाइड जेनिटेलिया of androgen insensitivity patients was male because testosterone was present. लेकिन यहाँ पे inside genitalia that is internal genitalia is also like female because इनके पास तो टेस्टोस्टेरॉन भी नहीं है क्योंकि प्रॉब्लम तो टेस्टिस में था, SRY जीन ही पॉसिबली नहीं हुआ. देन कमिंग टू ब्रेस्ट. ओके, ब्रेस्ट इनका डेवलप हुआ था, प्रेजेंट था बिकॉज टेस्टोस्टेरॉन था तो टेस्टोस्टेरॉन ईस्ट्रोजन में बदल गया था. लेकिन इनमें क्या है, इनमें ब्रेस्ट भी डेवलप नहीं है. ब्रेस्ट इज एब्सेंट बिकॉज टेस्टोस्टेरॉन नहीं है तो ईस्ट्रोजन में नहीं बदल रहा है तो ब्रेस्ट भी नहीं बन रहा है. ठीक है, तो बोथ आर मेल्स इंटरनली बट एंड्रोजन इंसेंसिटिविटी सिंड्रोम पेशेंट इज लुकिंग लाइक फीमेल प्रॉपरली फ्रॉम आउटसाइड. ये तो फीमेल की तरह दिख रहा है बाहर से बट ब्रेस्ट नहीं डेवलप्ड है. सो ट्रीटमेंट क्या है? ट्रीटमेंट इनका बेसिकली गोनाडेक्टमी दैट इज टेस्टिकल्स हैज़ टू बी रिमूव्ड आफ्टर puberty. Here also this patient will try to look like female but you have to give पहले ईस्ट्रोजन, बाहर से ईस्ट्रोजन देना पड़ेगा so that breast development occurs. After that you have to do gonadectomy has to be done after puberty. But here you have to give estrogen because otherwise breast develop नहीं होगा तो पेशेंट के लिए बहुत मुश्किल हो जाएगा. So very important how to differentiate between AIS and Swyer का प्रॉब्लम है, there is SRY जीन में प्रॉब्लम है तो there are dysgenetic gonads in males. Similarly, if there is dysgenetic gonads in females तो उसके दो कारण हो सकता है. आइदर 45XO दैट इज टर्नर्स सिंड्रोम जहाँ पे स्ट्रीक गोनैड्स है, दूसरा है देयर कैन बी सैवेज सिंड्रोम में 46XX है लेकिन उसके ओवरी सही से नहीं बना है. सैवेज सिंड्रोम से एज सच अभी तक कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं आया है MCQs इन नीट, सो आई एल नॉट गो इनटू डिटेल बट स्वायर सिंड्रोम इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. हाउ यू डिफरेंशिएट बिटवीन स्वायर सिंड्रोम एंड androgen insensitivity syndrome. So this is what we have studied in today's class. Go home, read your chapters properly from whatever book you do and try to solve more and more MCQs so that you become very good at this chapter. I will be putting question of the day every day, MCQs solve कर लेना and try to be up to date. जिस दिन हम जो पढ़ा रहे हैं उसी दिन if you revise and then revise later on, the more the number of revisions you do the better you will become, and I hope everybody will crack NEET PG in first attempt itself. Thank you so much.